2 as we hit the top of the hour. All
Nice.
right. Welcome, welcome.
Nice.
Welcome, everybody. It is 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern Time, or whatever time it happens to be where you are watching us right now, because you are watching us right now. So that's that. All right, and I forgot to turn off those other voices that keep coming through my head. There we go. And I got a third one that's going, so that's why. All right, there we are. Now we're clear.
Wow.
The reason why I say that, ladies and gentlemen, is because when I monitor, yeah, exactly, Robert. When I monitor everything that's going on, like the YouTube chat, um, sometimes I forget, guilty, to change a setting, and it all the voices
What is the
feedback
meaning?
in my head. So yes, that's always interesting to hear myself back at myself while I'm talking to everybody. And that happens actually during the How Do You Know That podcast because of the setup. So if you hear me stumble during the podcast like that, that's the reason. It's because I'm hearing myself and I was not ready for what I was hearing because I'm hearing myself back as I'm talking something different. Just a little behind the scenes knowledge. Anyways, we're not here for that. We're here for the inner circle. Although inner circle, you kind of get to see and find out how we do things around here.
Absolutely.
So, for those of you, I see 2 hands already raised. This is going to be a good start. But for those of you who would like to share with us, it's very simple. Go ahead on the bottom, find either the More button or the Reactions button. If you see the Reactions button, you're going to follow the next step. But if you find the More button, you need to find the Reactions button after you click the More button. Once you're in the Reactions tab, then click on Raise Hand. It will raise a hand as I can see John Tier and Bill Shoemaker have their hands up. So we will call on them. Otherwise, you can also ask a question in the chats, either on YouTube or here in Zoom. Either way, we will answer your questions and we will share with Robert. If you're on YouTube right now, the link is at the very top of the chat if you want to join us in Zoom. And we are ready to go because it is the inner circle. This is where we go into depth, into more detail with you personally, with Robert Hollis. So we're just going to go ahead, call it out, get it started. Ladies and gentlemen, Robert Hollis!
Nice. 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 Thank you very much, Craig, hostess with the mostest, and thank each and every one of you for jumping on the inner circle here today. Hi, Daryl. How are you? Thanks very much for coming on, and hi to each and every one of you. Yeah, the opening statement that I have for today is really don't have one. It's funny. I've been really pushing myself on videos on, what is your purpose, the meaning of life, and doing things like that. And man, when you really, really, go after those subjects, it sort of makes you like go, man, everything's really small. I guess I do have a quick statement. It's like when you think about the biggest things that are most important in life, everything else that sort of stops us from doing what we should be doing to, to enjoy the higher levels of life is just all really super small. You know what I mean? It's like when you really have your purpose and your passion for what you do, it pulls you. You're not stuck. You know what I mean? You're not thinking what you're going to do. You're just plowing through it. And I think that one of the biggest things that I realized myself is when I realized that you find your purpose in your life by doing a lot of things that you thought would give you purpose and passion, and they didn't. You know what I mean? So again, some people want to know what their purpose and passion is. If you really look at the, people that, again, you would have to know your definition of success and fulfillment and happiness. And then once you found a person that inspired you that was doing that thing, then if you really did your research on their story, you'll find that they did a number of things that didn't fulfill them, that didn't work, that I went down this and then I stopped doing this and then I went to this city and then I got involved with this thing and then I did this thing and then I went over here and I did this thing and now all of a sudden they're known as a person with a passion and a purpose. Why don't they talk about the other 155 things that they attempted to do that wasn't it? Don't you guys? So that's why I like those documentaries with, Sylvester Stallone and Arnold Schwarzenegger and Messi and Bend 'em Like Beckham. You watch those things and it's like, wow, so they went up here and of course that was their dream. That's what they were going to do. And even the recent one on Messi, he was just saying, never in a million years did he think that he would be playing football in America. That was the next path. He's still inspiring people through his play and what he did, but his goal was to win the World Cup and also get, be the most valuable player of the World Cup. So now you're standing there with those two trophies and now what's the next thing? What now what? So yeah, let's go ahead and start answering some questions and help people get to where they need to be to fulfill their passion and their purpose.
Sounds like a plan. And before we do that, just kind of an update for everybody who have helped us build the Robert Hollis YouTube channel. Congratulations, we hit 6,700. Actually, we are now at 6,716.
Amazing.
Thank you very much. You guys are awesome. You're amazing. Love you. Appreciate you. And all right, 6,800 is on the horizon. Let's do it. Let's see if we can get it before the end of the year.
Why not?
Yeah. We've got enough time left. It's only the 21st.
Yeah, 640,000 views. Nice.
On track for the 1 million. And I
Yep.
think what did Matt say that the 1 million view about March?
Yeah, and Matt also let me know, me, you guys, I love just keep pushing myself, just getting better and better, gooder and gooder. And Matt told me one time that he looked up what percentage of all the channels on YouTube have over 1 million views. Just consistently moving and adding 0.0 and then just keep putting another zero in there. You know what I mean? Being the top 1%, 1% of the 1%, 1% of the 1% of the 1%. So thank you, Craig, and thank you, Matt, because couldn't have been done without you and really, honestly, all the people on here. So I really appreciate you.
Absolutely. All right. Hands up. We see Jody Falcon, Bill Shoemaker, but first, John Deere. Go ahead, John. Open up and share with us.
Hey, hey, hey. How you guys doing today?
Blessed and highly favored and deeply loved. How are you?
I'm in a very interesting headspace today.
Good.
Robert, I was very, very angry, earlier today. And I thought I was angry at other people. But when I really drilled down, I realized I was really angry with myself. And I was angry with myself for not doing the things that I needed to do to be on the other side of money. And it was just kind of like, man, you know. And so I was been kind of struggling a little bit with that, you know, because there's some things that are going on that are really bugging me. And when I really get down to it, it's like, if you stay consistent and do what you need to do, maybe you don't have this challenge. And so I
Right.
guess my question comes down to how do I like accelerate the process? Because I really need to accelerate the process.
One of the things that we all do in beating up ourselves and being a bully to ourselves is there's something that happens with an aha moment. So I'll give you the silver lining to that, right? So the silver lining to that is when you're really angry and you're upset that, why is it that people are not doing what they're doing? And then you sort of go, my God, I guess if they're following me, I totally get it.
Right,
But
right.
whenever it comes to the end of the year or the beginning of a new year, or sometimes for me, it's around my birthday, or maybe because I always am thinking of others, it's around Terry's birthday. Yeah, I go through these things where, if you look at your whole calendar year, there's these things where you do a reflection of where you should have been and you're not there.
Hmm.
And that's when, this, self beating yourself up all of a sudden steps into another hope realm. And so if we realize that if we would have did what we should have been, that life would be a lot different.
Right.
Okay. And so what the uniqueness of that is again, I believe that you've done this, but again, when you reflect on your perfect day, all
Hmm.
right. So see what you're doing is you got all your attention and your focus toward the day that you didn't want.
Uh, that's
So,
good
so we
stuff.
so we
Yeah.
look at the checking account, and of course people like you that have a big heart, it's like you know, uh there's some traveling or some family I'm not going to be around. I'm a little pissed about that. I wanted to do some really nice gifts for the people that I love, including maybe even myself. I didn't do that. So there's a lot of times during this season where people reflect based on the holidays that they have, where we still got that old programming in there going, okay, so the one for people that are really red personal is they pretty much know exactly what they made for the year too.
Hmm.
You know, so now when it comes to the end of the year and you log into your back office and you see what your annual earnings is, you're going like, did I just pretty much do nothing last year?
Okay.
You know what I mean? So it's okay to do that for a second, but then it's more important to be aware that you're doing it.
Yeah.
And then when you're aware of doing it, then sort of go back to the reduce your ridiculous with your numbers and sort of ask yourself, I know what to do. I just need to be more consistent. And I need to be consistent and I need to make this a priority. Because if I did the numbers, my story would be different.
That's true.
And when you're doing the numbers and you're getting results, then that sort of has the opposite reverse of what people normally do. We beat ourselves up, we get in a bad attitude, we get angry with ourselves or others, and then it just consistently keeps going down this way. On the other side is as soon as I feel in a funk, or I feel like I didn't have the month or the year that I was supposed to have, then it just makes me reflect back. Okay, what took a lot of my time this year? What was I doing? What were some of the things that I was doing that I confused activity with productivity?
Hmm.
And I need to cut those things out. I need to focus on the things that make the most difference. I need to master those skills. And when you do that, all of a sudden you'll get the results. You'll start getting more results. And when you get more results, it sort of does that thing all over again. So now all of a sudden, the belief turns into action. The action turns into a result. The result turns into being excited, which we bring more energy and enthusiasm toward our actions that give us more results, that gives us a bigger payday. And it just goes the other direction. And that's all I can tell you about that. It really is, because it's always what we're focused on. And And, it's okay to say I didn't have a good game or I didn't have a good day. And then all of a sudden you got to do is just say, if I were to spend another, and that's why I always say reduce it to the ridiculous, because it will play with your head. You go,
Hmm.
so what if I were to put in, a really focused thing that I could master 15 more minutes a day for the last 360 days?
Hmm. Hmm.
And it really plays with your head. And you're going
And
like,
it's and the way that I've been doing business has gotten so simple now. I mean, I can go through what I find myself works best for me is like the night before I write out about 20 names that I get off my Facebook that I'm going to contact. And I know it only takes me between 15 and 30 seconds to really go through that.
yeah,
And once it's that thing of, okay, when are you going to start? When are you going to start? But when I start, then it's just like,
oh,
then
yeah.
it's just,
And so I would suggest that, again, if it becomes more of a priority, the reason that I told everybody to sort of, if they could, to watch that Alex video is because sometimes I um even don't want to freak people out by saying, hey, you know, uh uh what if you were piquing the interest of 3,000 people a month?
massive results.
Yeah. Yeah, and so if you guys remember my personal
Can
story, it was
can you really
built
do that? Can it
huh?
really be done? 3,000 a month? Can that really be done?
Oh yeah. Hell yeah. Well, you said you're going through 20, you said you're going through 20 people in 15 minutes?
Right. I mean, yeah, I mean that's kind of simple, you know.
So so if you were connecting with 20 people in 15 minutes, that would be 40 and a half hours. That would be 80 in an hour. If you took 3,000 divided by 30, you're right around that 100 number, aren't you?
I didn't think about it like that.
That's what I constantly do. My deal is always just upping my numbers. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And sometimes it's neat to split it too. If you're a kind of individual that if you can feel your energies dropping, or, you know, again, that's where you really get to understand, John, by doing what you're supposed to be doing with a great attitude, with the daydreaming of your perfect day, you'll find that you'll just scatter the numbers. You'll fly through them. But yet when you haven't done it for a continued hour or even more, like me, I don't want to freak out people sometimes, but I'm literally contacting with people all day. So when I make my first post on Facebook, I'm pretty much doing that until usually around 4:30, 4:30, 5 o'clock. And so, you know, I now know that I'm consistently connecting with people, whether I'm doing lives or doing Zooms or doing whatever. So now that I'm constantly doing that, and I've done that for so long, it doesn't make me any more special than, the best people in the world that are in the 1% range. You know what I mean? It's like, again, we've talked about this many times. If you talk to someone that was a professional in sports or singing or acting, and you ask them how much they practice on a day-to-day basis, they're
Mhm.
like, what are you, stupid? You know what I mean? And I think where people really hear it and really freak out is I know they still have that show on, Dancing with the Stars or something like that.
Yeah.
And when they really show behind the scenes just how much a person that doesn't know how to dance really practices during the week in an event. And
Yeah.
it's like, wow, these people are hurting their ankles and they're breaking their wrists and they're, pulling stuff in their back. And it's like, because they're really, really pushing it. They really, really are. And so when my mentor challenged me to do 70 in a month, I want you to get 70 people to watch a video in the first 30 days. When I did that and completed like a 25K, you know, that's when he said, so now it's 2,000. So now I got to get you to have 2,000 people watch that video.
So now that's kind of a little bit of a transition thing here. Jennifer, how to say this. Do you feel the tax credit thing is like pushing a product?
Um, I was it you that reached out to me, John? I'm trying to know it wasn't. It was Tom. And Tom says, hey, now that you got me so open-minded about this concept of, you know, I don't know, I think I held this up in a video.
Is it like when it's right? Okay.
Okay. So what you do is you go from ignorance on fire. I notice this guy calls it unformed optimism.
Okay.
All right. And then he says what you do is you find out that now you're informed pessimism. So when you
Uh-huh.
first hear that you can reach out to every single person on the planet that has 1099s or self-employed,
Right.
and you go ballistic, and then you go out there and people are like, no thanks.
Right.
You know what I mean? Now you're getting informed, and then all of a sudden you're in the valley of despair.
Right.
And when people are in the valley of despair, this is usually when they go to another company
Uh-huh.
because they don't know how to become informed optimism. Informed optimism for me would be the day that I realized that I need to stay focused on people that have drawn a line in the sand and they go, I'm not freaking living like this anymore. And we need to find other people that want to supplement their income. So I know I'm saying this in a long way, right?
Right. Right.
So,
Right.
and then all of a sudden you're informed optimism and then success and fulfillment. So the reason that I'm bringing this up is Tom Booth reached out to me and he goes, you know, you talk about the cycle of the shiny thing and then the valley of despair, and then people start over and they just keep doing it. He goes, would I be really off the rocker if I said that I thought that MDC as a company does that?
Yeah.
And I went, no, you wouldn't. And here's the
Yeah.
other thing that's pretty funny is if you're leading with a product, which I believe the self-employed tax credit is,
Okay.
do you guys realize that it's also not residual?
Right. Right.
It's not residual. So why would I promote it? Because it's
Uh,
a different angle to try
right.
to find people. But now we got to do where Coach Bob is, which, by the
Right.
way, Coach Bob, congratulations on being #1 on the leaderboard again. You know, it's this thing where now these people are showing up in your customer list.
Hmm.
And so now when and if they apply, follow through, get a check, are these people going to be interested in a neat way to supplement and replace their income by building a group of people that want to move their buying power away from these big companies? See,
Right.
like
Right.
it's like, so for just a moment, you focus on a product again, and then you realize, wow, there's no volume right now promoting this product.
See, okay. See. I see.
Yeah,
So I guess my brain is kind of like saying, "Hey,
yeah,
hey, hey."
yeah.
Yeah.
What Here's the only reason that I was excited about it. I can see in my back office, and this is not being mean to anyone that watches the Inner Circle now or forever, even recorded. I know where everyone's volume is. And even if you're not on my team, I know where your volume is because I just get to see your lifestyle.
Mhm.
You know, so as Craig always says, success leaves clues, right?
Right. Right.
And so it's just one of those things that if I thought, wow, if someone said, this is the thing that I can reach out to anybody saying, who do you know that has a 1099 or self-employed, just like Christmas, just like the different holidays, just like New Year's. This is a reason to reach out to people so you can get that skill going.
Yeah, what's interesting to me is that whether this probably sounds crazy, but it's showing me really the nature of people in general.
Yes.
Whether I ask them, do they know anybody who needs to make some extra money, or do they know anybody else who's self-employed? The mentality seems to be just about the same.
Always.
And so
Always.
so I started thinking then, what the heck? I might just ask you if you know anybody who needs to make any money.
Yeah.
Because to be honest with you, that's going to lead me to volume, which is going to lead to a check and so on and
Yeah.
so forth, where the other side, it's going to maybe lead, because there's so many steps they have to go through before they actually get money in their hand.
Yes.
And
Yes.
and there's so many places where they can fall down. Oh, I forgot to do this, or I forgot to do that.
And
Where
see
if
where
I'm
people,
sorting,
yeah, and where people are starting to get the informed pessimism
right.
is I reached out to 4 or 5 monsters and they go, Robert, please don't tell me you're not incorporated. No, I'm incorporated. So do you pay yourself and your family through W-2s, not 1099s? I do. So you don't qualify for this. I don't.
Yeah.
And it's like I didn't qualify as a business for the ERC either,
Hmm.
right? And
Right.
and so it's like I had to document during the COVID years that my income was really hurt and I was paying my employees anyway. And that wasn't true.
Hmm.
So my business is not only recession proof the way I do it, but my business is apparently also virus proof.
Hmm.
That's
Hmm.
that's that's pretty good.
Yes,
You
it
know that
is.
a thing comes out that whether you believed in the propaganda or not, it's like it totally shut everyone down.
Yeah.
And I was still okay. That's
And
that's
see, and
good, man. That's
see, that speaks volumes
yeah.
of which direction my mind is, because see, my mind was saying, as that cognitive dissonance was starting to creep in
Yes.
about, hey, this looks more like a product than it does. And I'm like, yeah, I know, but Robert said, yeah, but listen to your mind. Your mind is telling you something here.
Right.
And so I said, you know what? Let me just ask, just
Thank
point
you.
blank.
Thank you. And then the other ones I found out, you guys are never going to believe this one. You're never going to believe the informed pessimism I have on this one. Would you believe that people actually get paid 1099 and they're self-employed and they don't file taxes?
Okay. Why do you think the government have so much money to give away? Because they don't file taxes.
And so and so when you're talking to someone that you know is doing pretty good in this industry and their response is, so I had to file for 20 and 21. Yeah, you pretty much got to pay the government to get money back
Back.
from the government.
Exactly. Exactly. Because
And then you
it's a
go, it's like that, so it is pretty funny. It is pretty funny that and you guys seen when, certain things came out, high life travel. If you guys see me really go out and really push a product, really push a product, I do it because I want to be in support of Josh Swagel and
absolutely.
doing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what I love about that is it doesn't hurt me financially because this is another learning lesson. So,
Hmm.
me personally, I got 14 customers and all of them are in the pending status. You know what
Right.
I mean? And I'm going like, wow, what if everybody just turns their focus again, going from here to back here,
Right.
right? And so if it's a product or a company and you continue to get in the valley of despair and then you start over, every time you start over, so you guys heard, I always tell you my personal stories. So, I'm an idiot and I'm learning. And so I decide that I'm going to stop complaining and I'm going to start working out. And I was up to 2 miles a day, and then I was coming home and then getting on the rowing machine. And so what I did every day is I just said I'm going to increase by a minute. And then all of a sudden my mind started going, well, listen, since you're here, why not do as much as you possibly can? And then from there I go into the sauna, and the next thing I know, I can't lift my arm.
Right. Yeah.
And so when my arm started hurting, it even hurt when I walked. It really bothered me when I went to Miami. And I love people too much. So lifting my arm was hurting me, and I hugged every one of you that was there. Uh, Over and over and over again. It was like, oh my Lord. And so here was the thing where, again, consistency and not trying overdo it. So, here I am, ignorance on fire. Where am I? Over here? Yeah, ignorance
Yeah,
on
there you go.
fire. And then all of a sudden I get the realization that I'm going too fast and too hard. And then I'm in the valley of despair. And I'm not pointing to the circles on my watch anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I do that every time. It would be really, really interesting if I could just lean on my knowledge and go, Robert, every time you started to work out, you went too hard, too fast, too quick, you hurt yourself, and then you had to start over. It's like you would think that one of the times that I started working out, when I do it again this time, that I'm going to go, hey, remember, idiot? And me just bringing that up to you guys is when you get all jacked out of your mind. I'm doing this tomorrow. I'm doing it at 1 o'clock. I'm going to set a new world record, and I'm going to go out there and talk to 100 people. You know what I mean? And now you put so much focus on that now you're married to the results. You're not
Hmm.
divorced from the results,
Hmm. Hmm.
because you set an intention that you're going to do that. And then you go, wow, I went through 100 people. Now I found out on number 72 that I'm in Facebook jail. And and I had 4 people that tried to pitch me on their own program, and then 2 other people that told me that I was an idiot for doing what I'm doing. And it's
Yeah.
like, so yeah, you put a lot of focus, intent, and energy into doing it, but it was to do something that was really self-absorbed that one day.
Hmm.
And then when it didn't work the way you did it, your mind now is not stupid. So now you go, putting in doing 100 a day is not going to make you feel good. You do know that, John, right?
There it is. Yeah, there it is. There it is. Because we associate stuff when we associate stuff with pain, we want to move away from that pain. That's how we are as human
Either
beings, for
either
sure.
pain or pleasure, isn't it?
Right, right. And because at one point I was like doing like 100 a day, and I was just like, that's just like crazy to me.
Mhm.
And but it was like on like LinkedIn, and it was much easier at that particular point until I learned this thing about Facebook. So, and I said 100 a day, but then something went in my head the other day, and I won't say any names, but you'll know because
Yep.
somebody said something from stage. I do 100 a day. I do 100 a day. And it dawned on me the other day, well, if you do 100 a day, why you quit? I don't I don't understand that.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
That didn't make a lot of sense to me. Were you really doing 100 a day, or were you saying you're doing 100 a day?
Well,
Yeah.
also, people are always trying to impress people with what they're doing instead of just being honest.
Yeah.
And the other thing is too is when you don't see the results of someone doing that, it's like they get too caught up in the actions instead of the results. And so you're going, listen, I throw 100 darts a day. I throw 100 darts a day. And you're like, yeah, but the dartboard's over there.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Was there an intention to actually getting good at throwing triple 20s and bullseyes and actually hitting the number that you said you were going to do? Because
Right,
see, you told me that you threw 100 darts a day, but if it was just against the wall with no dartboard, I don't quite understand what you were trying to do.
right. And
Well,
see,
Robert, I was doing what you told me to do.
well, actually, Robert, I did change it a little bit, and because I know you were talking about asking about becoming an affiliate. What I noticed right away is people did not hear anything about the $32,000. All they heard was, "I don't want to be an affiliate." I was like, that was not even the intention.
Yeah,
And that was and so I said, wow, they missed the other thing. So I said, you know what? I'll flip this a little bit. It's still Robert-esque. In other words, I ask people
right,
about it. When I say to people now who are self-employed, do you know any other people that are self-employed?
right.
You know, and so I use the side door, back door approach on that, and then I
And
ask them
you,
permission to send the video to them. I mean, it's the same thing.
yeah, and you still see people that say, well, to be honest with you, I don't know anybody.
Yeah, I don't. Either that or don't respond. I don't really care. But I just figured when I said this, I said, man, I'm watching what the numbers look like, and I'm saying, okay, if I'm getting these kind of numbers, I might as well just ask you, do you know anybody who needs to make money?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I that's kind of where I am. I said, well, let me just run this by Robert. Maybe it's just me thinking
No,
this.
no, it's not you at all. It's not you at all.
Okay, so yeah, because I actually prefer now, to because I said, well, man, this is a product, right? Why am I? So I'm not trying to sell a
Yeah,
product. I'm
that
trying
that's
to,
called awareness, isn't it, John?
yeah,
That's
yeah,
called awareness. Going, wait a minute. This, yeah, it's selling
man.
this is faster.
Yes. One last thing, and then I'm gonna get out of here. Today was the last day with the kids for Christmas break. But they have a sign on one of the walls, and it says "Build, not bully."
Wow,
Yeah, and when next time I go there, I'm going to take a picture of that. But I think that's this. They have it a build, not bully.
very cool, very cool. Yeah, it's neat to see when people figure it out. You know what I mean?
Right, right.
It's really interesting. Well, John, I love and appreciate you. Thank you so
You
much.
too, man. Thank you. And like I said, I get out of my own head and I'll be consistent. And I'm actually going to be doing videos next year. I'm going to go back to doing videos,
Good.
and I'm going to turn the beast on, because
Yeah,
I know how to do
me,
that
me
stuff. So,
even me for 2024, I'm looking at other things I can add, to get more impact, try to find more ears to hear. And we've been
yeah,
wrapping up pretty good this year, but still, it's like we can do more. We always can do more.
yeah, yeah. So, all right. Thank you so much. Appreciate it,
You
man.
bet. Love and appreciate you.
Bye bye.
John, thank you so very, very much. Appreciate you too. All right. So I've got more people with their hands up. Daryl raised his, Coach Bob, Jody. But first, Mr. Bill Shoemaker, please open up and share with us.
Thank you, the hostess with the mostest, Craig Jackman. Love you, brother.
Love you too. Thank you.
Wow. Well, that you guys had me going up and down in my head. The little Dino's going off. Go, yeah. I'm dealing a lot with what John is, the valley of despair. Am I saying the right thing? I
Yeah.
can tell you one thing. I'm getting a lot more rejection right now. What does that mean? It means I'm talking to more people.
Yes.
That's what it means. But yeah, so are we doing the right thing? That would be my question. Should we still be doing the tax thing, or just asking people if they know anybody who wants to make money?
See, in my opinion, if we're focused on consistently mastering one thing, again, the Bruce Lee statement, people that are great at a lot of different martial arts, he's not scared of,
Right.
but he's scared of the person that does one technique 10,000 times. So in my position, focusing on trying to find a great way to connect with people give the gift away. And I've even been experimenting lately with something that I don't remember if it was Joshua, but people are going, if you're connecting with people, can you give away the gift in the connection? So example, hi, Bill, I just wanted to connect with you. I love connecting with people. I hope everything's going great for you. I hope you're having the best year ever. And, when I connect with people, I love to give them a gift because my mentors did that to me. And this has really, really helped me. And so here's a gift for you. I can guarantee you if we time that, that's still under 30 seconds. And now you're posting the post and you're not only connecting, but you're giving them the gift immediately. And so I've really been experimenting with that recently, and it's really been working well. So before I said, connect with them, wait for a reply, then give them a gift.
Right.
And so
That's
now,
quicker. Yeah.
just all in one sentence, give them a gift.
Before you ask them anything, tax credit or whatever.
Right. Still go back to that, because what people are seeing is, again, the direct approach is not working. You know what I mean?
No.
Yeah. When people are direct. So me, even when I'm doing anything, right? Let's say that I was focus on, I always think that if you say things where people have to say a yes and it's a no-brainer, let's say that I was marketing FFX. Some people still cannot, they haven't figured out in their mind yet that they believe, because they've been an employee and a consumer their whole entire life, they just cannot get the concept that you should lead with a connection and a gift. That you should say, who do you know? So even with the people that are in Nigeria with FFX, my deal was, hey, who do you know that uses Petro? And it's really only just a little thing to get them to go, well, everyone. See, that's what you want to get. So why I always say, Bill, listen, another reason I gave you the gift and wanted to connect with you, I was hoping you could do me a huge personal favor. Do you know of anyone right now that needs to make some extra money? See, so in that one thing, it's like, well, everyone I know needs money. But if you guys notice, if you said to people, hey, Bill, how are you doing financially? Oh, I'm doing awesome. I'm doing great. There's not too many people that would go, oh, to be honest with you, I'm a few payments behind on my credit cards. People, it's just not the way humans are, And so yeah, I'm totally there, Bill. I will consistently always lead with the opportunity, the way of making income. And then once they get in, then I'm saying to them, hey, listen, by the way, now that you're a free affiliate, do you know of anyone that's self-employed or gets paid on 1099? Because now that you're an affiliate, if you do and you apply, you can apply through your own back office.
There you go.
Yep.
So, another thing I've been working on too is step one. Get excited.
Yeah.
It makes so much difference when you talk to people. I mean, they either love your energy, they go, oh, what is it?
And again, you guys, whatever you got to do to get you in, whatever ritual, RICH-AUL, whatever ritual you got to do to get you in that excitement mode. Okay. So me personally, you guys all know I talk about, I get on my knees and pray in the morning, which is just really giving thanks and being grateful. And then through that, the next step that I do is I watch something that really, really gets me pumped up. Like right now, I've really been watching a lot of that Alex's videos. It's so validating to me that someone is using my approach and made 100 million with it, and he's 33 years old. What a validation. Out of all the videos, out of all the frickin' videos that he has out there, and I watched that one. Hey, and here was the big title. Let me show you how to get 5 customers. You only have to contact 3,000 people and you got 5 customers. Some people don't want to hear that. You know what I mean? Hey, I reached out to 4 people this week and everyone said no. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know if that's going to do her.
Right.
Love
Awesome.
you, Bill.
Love you too, brother. Thank you.
You bet. Thank you.
Bill, thank you so much. One thing is so great, Robert, about all of these inner circles and even the Ask Me Anythings is the fact that they get to hear your response, how you do your voodoo that you do so well, if I may quote pseudo quote Blazing Saddles, but it's true.
Yeah.
And this is why we do this. And so everyone, thank you so much for your inputs, because this is what helps everybody, not just you, but the people who watch the replay, or if you want to watch it again. So yeah, thank you guys so very much. All right, moving right along. Jody Falcon, you are next. Go ahead, open up, and please share with us.
Hello, everybody. My crystal ball.
Look at that beautiful. Is that a crystal ball, an ornament, a snow globe? What the hell is that?
It couldn't fit on a tree, that's for sure. I just want to wish everybody who has celebrated Hanukkah, will celebrate Christmas and Kwanzaa, much love and outrageous joy for the end of the year and for 2024. So,
Thank you,
Robert.
Jody. Thank you, Jody. That was not only sweet, but I just want you to know that you're very special to me.
So, I think it was Sunday or Monday. Today's Thursday. And I started juggling these balls inside my head of, do I kick them to the curb? Do I keep going? Do I do what more can I do, et cetera, et cetera? And whammo bammo, again, is your live at 3 p.m. Eastern today. I can't tell you, Robert, how many times that has happened to me where, a few days before, I'm like doing this mental gymnastics, and then a few days later, wham.
Well, thank you, and all of you that are doing that.
So here's my question. Now, I know in all of the powers that I have been given and all the talent that I have and skills, etc., I still cannot rescue anyone who will not participate in their own rescue. Okay. So
now that is probably the only time that I would allow and agree with you when you said the word can't.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's that's the mystery of the world is because man, I have done some incredible stuff for individuals.
Yes.
Helping them with breakthroughs and helping them with stuff and getting them a game plan and watching how good they are at connecting with people, right?
Yeah.
And that's our Achilles heel. That is our weakness for those of you that have a heart. For those of you that have a heart and you use it, you're being let down because you see so much in another human being, their potential, what they could do and who they are, and they just won't do it. And so,
Oh my gosh, in heaven.
yeah,
So, um, I have a good number of nonprofits that are in my pipeline,
good.
and that just serendipity has happened in the last 3 or 4 months
Good for
of
you.
all of a sudden these nonprofits, right? Okay, so the nonprofit I'm speaking of is the one that you did the video for. So 2 days after you did your video for that nonprofit, I reached out to the director through private text, not messenger or anything
Okay.
like that, right? And I don't hear anything back. Okay. So the next day, she texts me and she says, I'm in the hospital. So
Ooh,
I gasp and I say, oh my God, what can I do for you? What hospital are you at? Do you need anything? Beep, ba, 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 ba. She says, no, I'm fine. I didn't get back to you because, are you ready? Brace yourself. I was playing a video game.
yeah.
That's why she didn't get back to me. And I thought, oh, whoa,
And
okay.
at least she's being honest. Most people will tell you,
Oh,
yeah,
oh, I was so grateful inside my heart. I am so grateful. My only response to her. Now, this is at the second half of our Black Friday extravaganza. Okay. So I wanted to get it going for the nonprofit, right? But no,
yeah.
she's too busy with her video games. This is an adult. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah. So my
Another
only response,
shining. Well, we'll just call them MDC shining balls.
here's one for you. Got a shiny ball.
Jody's smart. She just carries her shiny ball with her.
So my response was, God bless. And I always, when I run into those kinds of people with in that kind of mindset, my only response always is God bless. Because you know what? Um, with all the talent and skill that I have, you're gonna need God much more than me.
Yeah. Yeah, you just got it. No matter who you're introducing to, just love up on them, be kind, be an
Yes,
example of what's happening. I always like leaving them a message that, listen, I'm here for you when you need me. And
perfect.
you just go, I just need to know from you, excuse me, that I didn't drop the ball. And I thought it's the silver, I'm sorry, the shiny ball. It's like
But
the
you know
theme,
what?
the theme
You
of
know
our
what,
inner
Robert?
circle.
Yeah, but you know what, Robert? For me personally, I don't even need to know that from them because I know deep in my heart that
Yeah.
I went more
Oh,
than the extra mile.
you definitely did. You definitely did. I went the extra mile. You went the extra mile. We did everything
Oh,
that we could.
yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
we did
yeah.
everything that we could, and that's all we can do. We know that, and that's why, like John said a little bit, that's why you can't be angry at them. That's why you can't be angry at other people, because what it does is it then puts you in the despair mode.
No, I'm not going to allow myself to go there.
I know that. I know that.
So as long as I know deep in my heart when my head hits the pillow that I did everything
Yep.
to my best ability to help an individual or a nonprofit, then I'm going to sleep like a baby.
Yeah, and an entity is an entity. You know, you're
Yeah.
either finding them at the right place at the right time in their life or you're not. And,
Right.
and I'm so aware of that it's like, you know, still the argument that I get with a lot of people is, well, should I follow up? And I'm like, I don't. I don't. I'm too busy trying to find the right people at the right time instead of following up on people because I'm not perfect. I'm far from perfect. So I think I know the reason I don't follow up is I don't need to be rejected by the same person more than once.
Isn't that the truth?
Oh my God. Oh my God. There's another Hollisism right there.
Yeah.
The reason I don't follow up is because I only allow people to reject me once.
One time. You can do it one time and that's it. Otherwise, if it's 2 times, shame on me.
Yeah. And we do know that rejection is just us having unrealistic expectations.
Yeah.
So we set ourselves up by, oh my God, maybe if I give Jody another call, maybe I'll catch her at the right time. And
People know where to find me.
I call you, I leave you a heartfelt message. Just wanted to let you know, have a great Christmas. I love you. I hope you have a new year. And I'm here for you if you're ever thinking about making some extra money in 2024. And I get a message back. Robert, thanks a lot for leaving me the message. I was just about to hit level 35 in my video game. And I so I love you, Jody. You always make these fun for me.
I love you guys. Thank you for everything.
You bet.
Jody, thank you so very much. All right, let's keep it going. We got a couple of more hands up. Daryl, you're coming up, but first, Coach Bob. There you are. Unmute yourself, please, and share with us.
Thanks,
The machine.
Matt. Yeah.
And congratulations, Coach
Thank
Bob.
you. Well, it's not the end yet, but it's close. The end of the month. But so a few questions. So I'll just rattle through them. So when you're recruiting, is there any like states, places that are easier that people are looking for this? And then also like men or women, and what ages, because when you search people on like Facebook, you wanna catch. I'd rather go after someone I've got better odds of getting than.
Yes. If a person and if you do any kind of advertising, maybe you still have the abilities to do this. But when people would ask me that were really good with Facebook advertising, every state for business opportunities, every state, California is number 1, followed by Texas, followed by Florida. And let me give you my reasons why. All right. The reasons why is depending on the states that you live in, people will pack their stuff and move to that state for a better opportunity. If people just say, how many of you know people that they're just never going to move? If the person's never going to move, I don't know if they're really looking to make 6 figures plus a year. It's just not there, right?
Right.
And the reason that the East Coast, other than Florida, hasn't been a really good area to hit is because this is above them. Being an entrepreneur making $1 million a year is not in their wheelhouse. They want to work for somebody else. They want to talk about their degrees. They want to be the elite. They love titles, and the title's not super affiliate. So this is another good thought about you become who you hang around, right? So isn't it funny, almost behind every actor, male or female, you have this story where they all of a sudden packed their stuff and went to California? It's really interesting, man. Or if you're a country western singer, you got to live in Nashville. And it's like there's certain areas that call to whatever you're doing. How did I end up in California? Oh my God. There for drag racing, there is not a better place to live than Pomona, California. That is it's when they have the Winter Nationals there, and they have, they start back up in February, with the Winter Nationals, and then they also have the last race of the year, usually for the championship. Now, if you're going to be in NASCAR, if you don't live in North Carolina, you're not serious. So great question, Bob. Great
Yeah,
question.
okay.
Matt,
Men or
Let
women
me
then
just
and ages?
let me just
I see
interrupt
Matt
really
posted
quick.
in here.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was going to share that with everybody. The Matt Hollis posted the age range 35 to 65, and the number one state, as Robert has kind of shared, California.
Yeah, and mixed gender. It's very interesting where it's yeah, it's totally mixed gender. I for whatever reason, women seem to be better marketers in this industry than men, and it's only because they naturally network better. You know what I mean? Guys, especially any blue collar guy is going to have 2 or 3 friends, and those are usually the people he works with, which was who I was when I started this. But I used to do live presentations before the internet. And I would always ask in the audience, how many people were born and raised in California? And if there was 100 people there, there would be one hand, if not any. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
To be talking to 100 people in California and everyone in the audience is not from there. And so I'd say, well, if you wasn't born and raised here, that means that you moved here or your family moved here. Can I just ask a simple reason? Why? And it's pretty obvious. We moved here because we hated Williston, North Dakota. I knew for me to be a championship crew chief, it wasn't happening there. My biggest joke with Williston, North Dakota all the time was we didn't even have a professional sports team. So if you like football, a certain group like the Seahawks, a certain group like Denver Broncos, and the other people love being disappointed every year from the Vikings. It was like it's like yeah, we don't even have a team, you know what I mean? So it is pretty funny because you don't have big teams or professional teams, usually don't have big universities, you know what I mean? So it's not like, so you're not even, so that I hope that answered your question. Yeah.
Yes. And then in your book, you have like a 60-day, I can't, I'm trying to remember this right. You have like a 60-day period when you recruit someone and then they go through the 60 days and then you go on to the next person. Do you remember that in the book or?
What I try to do, I don't know if we've ever talked about this. When I'm not recruiting, sponsoring.
Right. I'm sorry. Yeah. Right.
Okay.
I'm
really honestly looking for a project. You know what I mean? I will sponsor until I find someone that, as they're going through the plan, and I'm telling them that they need to introduce me to the very best people that they know, they do it. When they do it, I actually stop sponsoring. And I'll focus so much on that individual, and it will keep me busy because of how many people they're putting there in front of me. And then it all of a sudden becomes like self going. So it's like when Joshua started putting me in front of people, then all of a sudden Mosh started putting me in front of people, then Joshua, and people will do that until their check or their rank says that they're okay. So when I tell people my goal, honestly, is for people to have enough confidence when they show their back office on their mobile app that they're not showing mine. They're proud to show theirs. And that's when all of a sudden I don't get to focus on them anymore until, there's a phrase in this industry that every rank you need to learn a new phase. You need to learn something new, making six figures is one thing, making a half a million or $1 million, it just takes different skills. It takes different focus. And so yeah, so that's probably when it usually takes me 60 days to get somebody documented.
Okay, that was it. Yeah. Yeah, and that makes sense, right? You want to stick with them until they get that first paycheck.
Yeah.
Because then they're on their way, right? Because if they don't get that paycheck, they're probably gone.
Right.
Right.
So my goal is not only get them to get that belief check, but again, the real true art of duplication is I help you help somebody sponsor somebody that gets a check. When you got that 3 levels deep, now that's called anchoring. And now you don't really care if the person above that continues to do it or not. It's really interesting. So when Mosh and Coach Joshua both hit 50K, that was Coach Josh's under Mosh. And it was pretty interesting that I was working more with Coach Josh than I was with Mosh and Joshua Daramella because he just bit into the concept. Are you trying to tell me I'm sorting and looking for people when I find one I can use you? And I went, yeah, and you can't outwork me. And I'm going like, he's going, really? We'll see. You know what I mean? So,
Wow.
and so, you know, that's when all of a sudden you get someone hitting a rank and then hitting another rank. And then, you know, both of them have not only maintained 50K, so they made $9,100 just in upfront bonuses. And so they're in the game. They're in the game.
Okay, then one more quick one. I'm sorry to take up so much time.
No, stop
So
apologizing.
so so I mean, you run into a lot of people that are with Live Good or other companies, right? So I don't want to, because you know that's gonna. I mean, my opinion, it's gonna fail, or when it fails, or if they're not doing well, they're gonna want to come over. How do you keep that line if you kind of know that person is kind of wishy-washy, and you know what I mean? How do you keep that line? Even people that used to be in our company will probably come back, right?
No doubt. I've had a lot of them.
Yeah. So what do you do? I mean, you just keep in contact with them, or
you honestly, this will really crack you guys up. They're the ones that will want to break the relationship because their mental thoughts are Bob's going to think I'm a traitor. Bob's going to think that I'm going to try to cross recruit people. This is going bananas on them. Bananas on them. And so when you reach out and just say, hey, I just want to wish you much happiness and success and whatever you're doing. You know, most people don't get this until they're in another company. But I used to learn stuff from Jim Rohn when Jim Rohn was the master trainer for Herbalife. And I go, so anything that I find that he was coaching about in Herbalife, I just changed the word Herbalife to whatever name of the company I'm in. And I just wanted you to know that if you watch my videos, again, I'm here to help you in any way I can. And oh my God, they just fall in love with you. They, you know, and I'm not doing it for that reason, but people that have left my family, our team, in whatever company I'm in, they're still incredible, great friends with me. And because I keep touching base with them, and don't like make them walk the plank because they're a traitor. This makes it there's an individual right now that you know, I believe that he hit 50K. He hit 50K. He was under Aaron. He went to another company before Aaron. And Aaron blocked him on Facebook, social media, knocked him out of all the groups, unfriended him, everything, right? And it's hilarious when you do that to somebody and then you leave. Very, very interesting. So, you know, I don't know what karma that happened, but this guy had something with this company, and just recently they just sent a notice to everyone in the company saying, you know, I thank you very much. We had a good journey, but because of who we are and where we're going, being a part of network marketing and allowing other affiliates to help us is no longer going to be what we're doing in 2024. And so this guy reaches out to me and he goes, I called customer service and they said they purged my position. And I was, me and my wife were talking, man, look what Terry and Robert are doing. And so we asked the company if we could sponsor Front Level to You, and we're ready to go back to work. So 24 is going to be our best year ever. And I was like, man, Gary, it's I love having you a part of the company. I always thought you were a great guy, and he signed up under me today. Yeah. So I hope I answered your question. Yeah,
Yeah, because I contact a lot of people when I give them birthday wishes, right? So they're from other companies, and then I just add into that birthday wish, when I do it. Maybe we can contact each other. Maybe we could help each other out in some way, in the future.
And it's really, there's a lot of people out there that talk about this concept of collaboration. It's very, very difficult if you're focused on what you want to do. So I'm usually very open with a person. They go, well, maybe we could collaborate. And I'm going, that is just not who I am. You can take what I'm doing and do generic stuff, but I'm not interested in getting in your group because then everyone will say, oh my God, Robert's in this group. And I'm really not going to do just generic training for you because then other people's perception is what's important. It's not what I'm really doing. It's their perception that, oh my God, I think Robert and Terry are in this company now and they're doing trainings for that company. And so, Josh and Jenna have treated Terry and I very, very well. And I don't want them to have to deal with that. So I just tell them, hey, listen, any kind of collaboration, isn't going to be there, but, this is what we can do.
Yeah, right. Exactly. I wouldn't jeopardize anything that I have now. It's just if they needed help with a website or something,
right,
or information, I'm there. But
yep.
Thanks so much, Robert. I really appreciate your answers.
Questions. Always great questions. Yep. I appreciate
Love and appreciate you. Yep.
Hey, I got a question for you before you go.
Yeah.
So the self-employed tax credit thing launched and you're number one on the leaderboard. What have you been selling?
CBD oil. That's CBD oil. Everyone, I'll tell you, everyone's looking for that, Robert, and people leave the company, and I have people contacting me that they want to join back up. You know what I mean? So, and that's why I asked you about how I can stay friends with people in other companies and still.
Yeah.
But CBD oil is my main one.
And then always what I always do is I say to people, people that are successful look at business like a relationship. They really, really, really do. And I tell people that, and for anybody that's done this, don't get mad at me. It's just my opinion. We're all unique and different. And me, if you're in a relationship that's not really doing well and it's not serving you, then get a divorce before you cheat. I just think that's what you should do. You know what I mean? It's like, so when people are doing companies and they're doing things in their hope no one finds out, they always find out.
Right.
So I tell people all the time, as I say, I've been, with my wife for 40 years and 20 years in this home. And I'm just very loyal, and what I do, it works for me. So when you're asking me, well, listen, I'd like you to take a look at another woman, the answer is no.
Right.
And you can be offended by that. You can say, you think you're out of the mind, but I'm just not a more than one woman guy. And they're like, wow. And I'm going, so things are going great right now with my relationship with MDC. And that's the way I look at it. I just look at it like, hey, listen, and then I got my wife, every time I lose my head just a little bit, then I can say to Terry, she's saying, well, you know what Josh and Jenna have to do, right? And I go, pay me accurately and on time. So you'll notice when people get to this part again, that the valley of despair is you become who you hang around. So now what you do is you reach out to people and you go, I didn't even get a check this week. Not me either. I wonder how many other people didn't get a check this week. You know what? I heard so-and-so didn't get a check this week. Oh my God, what do you think's wrong with MDC? What's wrong with Josh? See what I mean? And so these people all get in that mindset and they don't realize it's just like everything in life. The people that start cheating on their spouse is because mentally and verbally, they're abusing them every day. All day, every day. My spouse doesn't do this. He doesn't support me. He doesn't support me. We don't have good sex anymore. He's always playing around with his buddies. And what we do is we keep doing this. And then what's the next step? The next step is you're complaining about your ball and chain to your other friends, and they're talking about their ball and chain.
Yeah.
Right? So now what you did is you conspired this thought in your mind that may or may not be true. But then when you're out and about where you shouldn't be and someone smiles at you and goes, damn, Bob, you're quite the good looking guy. And it's like, damn, that felt good. It's like, and so when all of a sudden we hang around the wrong group of people and misery loves company, people do that with the company. And they're going like, you know what? Oh my God, someone got FFX in the bottle and it leaked. And oh my God, we got the wrong product. And that is weird, but it's not weird. It's called law of attraction, that you automatically now find every person in the world that had some kind of shipping problem. It's so that really hilarious. It's really, really hilarious because now all I need is someone to reach out to me and say, oh my God, Bob, I'd love to work with you. And I found a perfect company.
Yeah.
And I know I'm joking here when I say this, but there used to be a meme that I haven't seen go around in a long time. But it's a picture of this girl this girl or a woman on a scale to 1 to 10 is like a 40. Probably airbrushed, not even real. And this caption underneath it said, you guys are going to get mad at me. The caption underneath it said, as gorgeous as this woman is with her perfect body, there's someone somewhere that's sick and tired with putting up with her shit. and I can guarantee you it can go the other way.
Oh,
And so I do go the other way. There was a recent survey that I seen out there, and it was saying that out of all the single women out there, that they would like a dad bod more than they would someone that's really, really fit. And when they asked all the women why, is going, anyone that's got a body like that isn't going to pay any attention to me. They're too busy. They're too busy doing the posing.
right.
And so there, I went both ways. So thank you, Bob. Again, great question.
Thank you. Appreciate it, Robert.
And Kelly put something in the chat here that I thought was funny. Kelly reached out to me and said, what's your address? I said, why are you visiting? And she says, yes, I am. And I go, great. You better ask Terry. That's what 40 years of marriage will get you. You know what I mean? The guy's just like, geez, you're in town. You just got off at the airport. Come over. And the wife's like, you do that again. My
Oh
my wife
my.
one time said to me, I invited someone over for dinner or something, and I forgot to tell her. And she goes, "Where are they going to stay?" And I said, "Well, we got an extra bedroom. Not anymore." That's your new residence. So I hope you guys enjoy.
Well, at least it's better than the doghouse, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, cool. Okay, Robert, I've got two live people. I've got
Okay.
two questions. One is a kind of a follow up to what you just you and Bob were talking to. Lisa Marie posted about people who leave and then come back, and then they realize after they've been listening to you, or Barb, or Jenna, or Judy, she's asking, how do we have a chance?
Have a chance in getting those people?
In other words, they want to go back and they want to be under somebody like you, Jenna, Barb, or Judy. How do we, the general people, right, Lisa? Okay, yeah. How do we, the people that are not in the upper echelon of MDC or
Right.
their company, how do we have a chance?
That's a great question. That's really, really a great question. Because I'm hesitating in answering because people are so freaking weird. All right. I'm just saying, I'm being honest. And so there's no way that we understand the voices that are coming through their head. Like, how many of you know people that felt they couldn't succeed unless they changed sponsors? Right? And
Absolutely.
they usually never make it. They usually never make it. So it's if a person believes that a mentor or an upline would be better for them than signing underneath you, they're already in the wrong chain. They're already in the wrong mindset. Does that make sense to you? So
Absolutely.
the deal is for me is I don't want those people. It's like they haven't figured out that it's them. They haven't figured out that the responsibility lies with them. They got to work on their abilities. And I don't know if I said this on one of my videos, but golly, this is something that could be said again and again and again. Terry and I watched a documentary about Kevin Hart, and Kevin Hart was giving all these accolades to Chris Rock for being responsible for his whole life. And that was really interesting, right? So then he had Dave Chappelle there as well. And so they were interviewing people, and all of a sudden what they said is Jerry Seinfeld came on. And he said, because Kevin Hart said something about Jerry Seinfeld, and he says, I say the same thing to him as I say to every comedian, stand-up comedian. Until you can connect with you and love you and know that you're connected, you'll never connect with another human being. So figure that stuff out. Figure out if someone asked you, do you feel connected? And the answer is no. Then how are you ever going to connect with another human being? That's powerful, isn't it? And so Kevin Hart said that he always thought it was based on material. And so then what he started doing is writing material that he knew that would connect. And what connects is the funny things. That's why Jerry Seinfeld's so good, is he talks about the stuff that all of us recognize and observe. We just don't think about it. He thinks about it. He's like, hey, have you guys ever had a weak fork? What? A flimsy fork that, when you go to poke it into the food and it actually bends? Have you guys ever, have you ever had, thin utensils? That's what everybody goes, yeah, I've had a thin utensil. And then he worked from there into who came up with the stupid idea of the spork. Does the spork actually work? You know what I mean? It doesn't. It does. It's two things that don't do what they're supposed to do. So isn't it funny that he talks about stuff and he observes stuff that we all sort of said, what the hell is this? And then he brings it up and we go, yeah, that's freaking funny. And so that's where Kevin Hart said that his connection with people in the audience, that's when he started showing up, and when he showed up there was more people there than there was before, because people say, this guy's going to leave you and connected. And what's funny about people that do that, Lisa Marie, is that if you ask them what joke connected with them the most, they can't remember, because they felt like they were connected the entire time.
That
So
makes sense.
yeah, great question. So between you and I love helping people that are not know-it-alls. They humble themselves and they're willing to learn. And you got to love them until they become that person. So, I love up on every one of them, every person I know, including Joshua Daramella. And it makes a difference if it took him 3 years to get it. I don't care. But he's got it now, so I hope that answered your question.
Yeah, thank you, Robert. Thank you, Craig.
Yeah, the first thing I would be going, people that leave, go to another company, sometimes trash MDC and their products and their people, and then they realize what they forgot, and then they want to come back. I don't know if I'd want that person.
Yeah.
Because it probably won't take very long for them to be back in the valley of despair.
Mhm.
Wow, you went to that other company. How much did you make? Oh my God. Let me tell you about all the problems with this company. Because they were problem finders in MDC, and they hung around problem finders. So now they go to another company and they find out there's stuff wrong with that company. Oh my God, really? Do you guys know anyone that goes from relationship to relationship to relationship to relationship, and they just keep finding the wrong person all the time?
Mhm.
It's pretty interesting.
Same type of person. Same type of
Yeah.
person.
I
One's
love
an
you, Lisa.
abuser. Yeah, thank you, Robert.
You
Awesome.
bet. You bet. Great question.
Thanks, Lisa Marie. Appreciate that. Just because of the timing, that I felt that we should
Good.
bring that one through. All right. Let's see. We've got Daryl Canister and Sandy Baker. You're coming up also, but Daryl, welcome. Go ahead, open up and share with us.
Great, thanks to be here finally with everybody. I've been sort of communicating for a while, and it's my first opportunity to get in to one of these sessions. So I'm very, very, very happy to be here. And I see some of the familiar faces I've watched on some of the other ones. So I've just got a couple of things I wanted to go through. One is I just wanted to acknowledge Mary. And I listened to the Inner Circle last week. It was the recording. And just wanted to say it took a lot of courage to do that, and it really touched my heart. So, a lot of kudos to Mary for opening up and being vulnerable like that, because I know that's really difficult to do. And so kudos to you for doing that.
I agree.
One of the other things I listened to was Ola asked a question on the Ask Me Anything the other day. And I really, for some reason, your response just floored me. It was like a brick right between the eyes. And it was, he asked you about the 67 people that you had helped to become seven-figure earners and what they had in common. And your answer was, they started visualizing what their life would be like if they got the success that they had. And that led to them starting to really believe that they could do this. And I don't know why, Robert. It's been 8 years since I first got into this journey. The first 6.5 were confusing as hell. But that comment, I don't know why, but it's just been resonating with me for a week.
Good.
Well, not a week until it happened. I don't know why. There's something about that that's really it's unsettling and it's kind of sitting with me, and I don't really know how to explain it, but it's for some reason that just floored me. And I guess I'll figure out what it is sooner or later, but it's
Yeah,
really made me.
I can honestly help you with that. There was when I sat in an audience, it's funny when we experience whatever we experience, and I'm so glad to have you on here. Thanks for coming on here. Is I didn't realize sometimes what you experience, you think everyone's experiencing the same thing. But I just remember like it was yesterday, I was sitting in there and he was drawing circles on the board. And not only did I go, if I'm understanding this correct, I just need to get excited about making money and put people in front of this dude because this dude's good. You know, we're just talking about telling jokes. I don't know if the jokes are as effective if you don't know how to do the delivery and timing and you don't know how to do the connection. So if someone made you laugh, it'd be probably easier for me to say, Daryl, listen, there's a stand-up on Netflix, Jerry Seinfeld's newest one. I think you should watch it. I think you'd really, really enjoy it. Instead of saying, hey, Daryl, let me tell you some of the jokes that Jerry said.
Yeah.
And that's where I believe that a lot of people mess up in this industry is they step into a place that they're not good at, they're not comfortable at before they're ready. And I just, you know, I can remember asking Bill after we got all done, I just said, so I just want to know the things that I have to do every day. Because I don't want to do all this other stuff. And he goes, get excited. So if I endorse this $62,000 check to you right now, would it get you excited? And what would you do with that check? And what would those things would they excite you? And I immediately went from a neutral standpoint to being pretty excited, you know, thinking about having that 62 grand and what I would do with it. And then he said, now use that excitement and now reach out to other people with that excitement and just simply connect with them and then ask them who they know. And I go, so once I ask them if they know anyone, then all I got to do is when they ask what is it, is set a time for them to see the video. And I'm going, yeah. So when the internet happened, oh my God, Daryl, like, you know, I can get a video in front of you in a tenth of a second.
Yeah.
So what I was sharing with Ola is that people mentally believe that it's going to take them forever to learn skills that they don't need. And so if they would just believe that, you know, the thought that just popped in my head or download is when I lived in California, there was, and Craig knows this really well, a lot of movies will give people a viewing before there's the movie's ever released. And so this is like market research. They want you to sit down and sort of, you know, see this part and sort of say that was too much or that was too little or I didn't think it was funny enough or whatever. But they're looking for people's opinions. And what's so funny about that is they don't tell you what you're watching. They want you to experience it. You know, and that just makes so much sense to us. Hey, if I could give you a free preview to a movie that we're thinking about coming out, would you watch it for free? We'll pay for your drinks and your popcorn, and we would just like some, you know, feedback from you. And it's like that there is sorting, right, Daryl?
Yeah.
Because they're talking to everyone that's at that mall. Or, you know, the last time it happened to me was at the Spectrum. And so they're asking everyone. And people are like, I don't have time. You know, to be honest with you, I don't like that kind of movie. You know, they're getting a lot of, you know, excuses of why they're not doing it, but their goal is to very simply find the people that are willing to screen it. That is it. So in this deal, when I talk about, you know, for you to really seriously think and write down in detail what a perfect day would be for you, the ultimate perfect day. And then your life goes into the whole concept of, I know how to make that perfect day happen. And then I tell people, what's the next step? How about 2 perfect days in a row? Let's turn that into a perfect week. Let's turn that into a perfect month. So when you're excited and you believe that if others did it, you can do it, then all of a sudden that keeps your energy high, that keeps your focus high. And now rejection is absolutely nothing. There's no such thing as that. Because I tell people, when you really put a daydream in your heart and your spirit, and you go, if Robert tells me I can do this, I can do this. I remember my mentor saying, so what did you used to do? And I go, well, I was, back then, it was new, so I was bragging. You add more titles and stuff to your name that, I work on cars. But it's like I'm a master automotive technician and I work on Indy cars for, Roger Penske. You know what I mean? It's like, it's funny how we do that to lift ourselves up. And he's going, oh my God, you're going to fricking destroy this. And I was like, and so
No pressure.
he knew a little bit about cars. And he was going, yeah, Robert, he says, I worked at a tire store. And when a car comes in and they need new tires, or we need to fix a tire, or we need to take one off and put another one on, he goes, there's really no creativity there. He was going, he goes, there's no creativity. You take the tires off the same way on every vehicle. Now, every once in a while, you might have, 8 nuts instead of 5. But really there's not much difference. You take them down, you break them off, you put the new ones on, you balance them, you put them back on. And I went, and he goes, because you're willing to just master that mundane, there's really no move for creativity. This is the way you do it. And we work on flat rate. You know what I mean? So you can find little glitches and stuff that you can do, little hacks to make the job faster and easier. But you're still doing it in the same certain way. And so him giving me that compliment made me feel like I had an edge. And he just said, he said, blue collar workers really, really kick ass on this a lot better than, people that believe in a corporate structure. And I'm trying to get to national manager or regional manager, or I'm trying to get to VP. They're always looking at this ladder concept, which sometimes is hard to break in the programming. So I really appreciate you saying that about Ola. It's like, because we either believe that we can pull it off or we believe that we can't.
Yeah.
And if we're constantly doing something, believing, Daryl, I don't know what kind of sports you like, but I've taken people when I was younger, I've gone hunting and fishing with people. And you could see that there was no interest in going, and they never changed their interest while they were there. So they didn't have a good day.
Yeah.
But I had a good day.
Yeah.
It's sort of bizarre, isn't it? And I even see it happen in a different thing that I think is funny. We always talk about this thing called beginner's luck. And beginner's luck really is uninformed optimism. It's ignorance on fire. And so you bring somebody in, you're going, you ever done this before? And they're going, no. So you just pull it back and focus it on the target and then let go. Yeah, just look down the sights. And they're like, all right, right in the center. Everybody's like, what the hell? Well, they didn't have any negative thoughts of what's so difficult. And we see those people that do this beginner luck stuff. I only say that what's worse about beginner's luck is when they think that they have it and then they can't repeat it. Now they go, wait, maybe there is some skill here.
Well, it's funny you mentioned that, because that was me when I first started. When I first started, I didn't have a problem getting anybody to and reaching out to people, but then it's almost like you get to a point where it's I don't really know what the hell I'm doing. And,
Yeah.
and then you start second guessing yourself. And then you listen to one too many people talk about stuff and you think you know what you're doing. And then you start losing that.
Yeah.
And then you start questioning everything. The
Yeah.
company, your upline.
Well, and this is a great example for guys that are blue collar workers, or, they just love doing that kind of stuff. Every one of us has been in a situation where there's just too many chefs in the kitchen. You know what I mean? And it's, everyone's got their own unique way of they think how to solve this problem or do whatever. And what we got to do is we learn too much and then we complicate too much. And then on top of complicating too much, we didn't realize that we did it, but we went from someone with enthusiasm and thesos, God within. And people are like, I don't know what the hell Daryl's doing, but he's damn freaking excited about it. It sounds like he's going somewhere and I want to go with him. It sounds like he's having a lot of fun doing this. To all of a sudden, in a blink of an eye, we turn into a life coach. And it's like, one of the things that Mark and Seta and I have been talking is like, people really don't want to learn how to do network marketing.
Yeah.
When you think about that, doesn't that sound weird? It's like, I don't want to learn all this stuff. I don't want to learn about personalities. I don't want to. And the reason I think that people don't want to learn that stuff is because it worked in their past and they didn't know any of this stuff. Isn't that crazy? It's like, wait, when I was excited and I was ignorance on fire, it was like I had no problem reaching out to people. And when you have that kind of confidence, how did you handle rejection, Daryl?
It didn't even faze me. It was next.
It's like you sort of giggle, you know what I mean? You sort of go, they go, I've heard of these things. You go, man, I thought you were more open-minded than that. I just I just reached out to you. Jim Rowan's line on this, Daryl, if you've ever listened to Jim Rowan's training about network marketing, it's like he's going, honest, Daryl, me being new and excited in this, I'm getting about 1 out of 10, and I'm okay with you being one of the 9.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, I still remember that. I've listened to a lot of Jim Rohn. He was one of my early mentors. And,
oh my God.
Yeah.
Believe it or not, still on a yearly basis around my birthday in February. That's one of the things I always remember is I'll listen to his little hour program on, the sowing of the seeds and, maybe the birds got them. And it's like, oh my God, I listen to this stuff. And I even told people recently, right before I got into MDC, I don't look at anything as being a coincidence. And it was the first time that I heard Jim Rowan say in his story fashion is that he said, okay, so, when I got out of school, because I had worked on the farm, I understood how to be a potato farmer. I really understood everything. And it's not that I worked at it because I grew up in a family where that was called chores. And I wanted to be fed and I wanted a place to sleep. So I never got paid for any of that stuff. I just love the way he said these great one-liners, right? And then he said, well, I went into town and I seen this guy and he was young and he pulled up in a new Cadillac. I was like, what the hell does that guy do? So I asked him and he says, I do sales. And I said, can you teach other people to do sales? And he says, I can. So now I'm a salesperson. And he's going, you can, and he said it, I never caught it before, Daryl. He said, you can make really good money being a salesperson. And then he said, then I met a guy that made him look like he wasn't making any money. And of course, that was my mentor, Earl Schultz. And he says, if you want to make a fortune, you'll learn to build a group.
Yeah.
Wow. And I went, and Jim Rohn went, that's what I'm going to learn now. And for him to say that sales was different than building a group.
Yeah.
was so I try to use analogies like a talent scout. You know, there's a lot of talent scouts that probably was never really good at the game,
Yeah.
but they still wanted to be part of the game. See what I mean? So their job is to fly out and watch all these kids play and go, wow, that person's got talent. And I got a good team that they could sign with and a good coach they could learn from. And I heard the other day, this was a good one. Kobe Bryant never won a world championship or an MVP with the wrong coach. That's good. So we talk about how good Michael Jordan was. Well, the 6 world championships he won with Phil Jackson. You know what I mean? So it's like, some people have a different way of teaching you things. And me, I'd rather spend all day, every day helping average people get excited about introducing me to a Daryl.
It brings me to a question then, because I have one more question, and you've touched on it. But one of the things I've been re-listening to is your series that you did with Don Fala's book.
Good.
And there's got a question in my mind, because it kind of there's a kind of a disconnect that I'm seeing here. And one is that Don Fala still says this: you get in a couple people and you don't just keep sponsoring people, you work with those people to drive depth until you're duplicated. And he says when the person you sponsor is 3 levels deep and they've got it, then you can. And that kind of, I'm trying to wonder, well, how does that reconcile with being at the top of the leaderboard and having a bunch of people become affiliates? Because I don't get that. Like, if you're bringing a whole bunch of people in as affiliates, how can you be working with the people that you need to drive depth with? So there's something I'm missing here.
You're not missing it. Yeah, I'm not on the leaderboard. You're not missing it. And if you're doing this business correctly, was I on the leaderboard when I first got involved in this company? Yeah, crushed it. Because I went through 300 people that I signed up for free, and 81 of them bought product. And out of the 81 that bought product, some of them are still known in this industry today as being did very well. So you take like a Candice Bird Davis or a Tomas Adam. So when you bring those people in, it's cool to see those people hit the leaderboard. But then if they're doing it correctly, their people should be hitting the leaderboard. And it's a brief moment of time when you're all out in action, putting as many people as you in until you find the people that are willing to introduce you to their person, and then that person does it, and now you're working in depth.
So then, just to be clear, it's sort of almost like the Jim Rohn story. You might have 100 people before you find 2 or 3 that are really want to. All right, he says at the same level of excitement as you are.
Bingo. Yeah, okay. It's people that, if we really wanted to define it, Daryl, here's the scariest people that you could find. Ready? They made an incredible good income. Now, as well as I do, that's a definition of whoever's making the income, right? And so they felt like they were living high on the hog, that they're maybe going out to eat a couple of days a week, they had nice cars, everything's going great. And in this industry, in the world, you're probably looking at a person, and a lot of people don't know this, but there's only 10% of the people in the United States that make 6 figures plus. There's only 5% of the people in America that make over $200,000 plus. So when you can find someone, Daryl, that had a great, great lifestyle and they had to downgrade their lifestyle because of COVID, those people want it freaking back.
Right.
You don't have to teach them personal development. You don't have to teach them work ethic. They just need an opportunity. And when you find someone like that and you help them get started, and I'll help you help them get started, they will get going so fast. They'll go up the leaderboard, they'll hit some ranks, they'll get their documentation of their own personal income. And then you usually only see this person once a year at the national convention. Because once they got it, right? And so now they know it. Sometimes they have to relearn stuff or they get off track a little bit. But yeah, you find a person and they say the three things to look for is they already have money. They won't tell you that they don't have time, because if there's something that they can do to put themselves with more freedom and more money, they'll make the time. They'll never ever tell you, I don't have time. And the other thing they have is they have a center of influence. They have a group of people that go, did you hear Daryl's doing this? Yeah. If Daryl's doing this, man, everything that guy touches turns to gold. The guy's not a stupid dude. If he's doing it, we need to check this out. You find those people, and again, if they know what to do, if those people come in and they're focused on selling product, and everyone in their group selling product, and everybody in their group selling product, that's the house built on sand. It will disappear. And then they had a rank and they made money, and now they dropped down and now they're embarrassed. I tell people about this all the time. When you guys hear people leave the company, most of the time they become who they hang around. They started looking for excuses and complaining, and then they found that group of people. And because they were not focused, they couldn't afford to stay with this company.
Right.
They just can't afford it. They don't realize that our income usually comes about 90 days away from what we're doing. This is a long-term deal. So now, if you're not personally sponsoring, you're not building a new project, and people can't see evidence of you building a new project, you're months away from either you got a bunch of money in the bank and you're treating this like a social thing. Yeah. Because if your people are not making money, they'll leave.
But the interesting thing is the 2 by 2 by 2, and it's just basically, once you get an affiliate link, just basically introducing other people and getting them to get an affiliate link.
Yep.
It almost seems, it's like you said the other day, it's almost too good to be true. And when you tell somebody this, and I've showed people your video, and the one guy said to me, and he's a very successful guy, he's one of these guys that makes over $200,000 a year. He says, well, if I'm just getting in and I'm getting other people to get in, who the hell's buying the product? And I said, well, eventually, if you're getting people in, some of those people aren't going to be anything but product buyers, I would think. But
yeah,
but I could tell that he wasn't really happy with my answer. And I said, well, I tried to direct him to some other videos, and I think he just thought, well, this is like the old adage, it sounds too good to be true and too easy. So
well, let me not saying that we can recover this guy, right? But the more bold and honest you are, the better that life works. And so if you called them up and said, hey, you know what? I jumped on this inner circle with this guy that's on the video, and I was honest and bold enough to say that I thought that I blew it with you because I didn't know how to answer your question correctly. And so he said to me, that's a great question. Would you be interested in jumping on a quick Zoom with Robert, and he can explain to you why this happens? Because he's got over 17,000 people in his group that buy product every month. Yeah. And that equates to 600 or $7 million in volume. And because he moves that much volume, he makes $80,000, $100,000 a month. So when you ask me that question, if everyone gets in for free, my first answer would be to him. If you just wanted to bring this, say, I asked Robert this question, this is what he said. I just want to ask you one question. Have you ever purchased anything online? Okay, second question. Was it from Amazon? Third question. Are you a Prime member? Yeah, and yeah. Why? Because according to the question that you asked me, you were able to sign up in Amazon for free. Why did you buy some? Sounds sort of stupid, doesn't it? No, I logged on to Amazon to buy something. Oh, really? And then when you bought something and they told you you could get a discount and free shipping if you became a Prime member, you actually said yes? Okay, I get it. So instead of a Prime member, our people are Brand Bucks people. See that? So whenever someone asks me a question, and if you've had, it's always when someone asks another question, you want to get them and to say yes to questions that seem so fundamental. So I've had people tell me this all the time. They go, well, if everyone's coming into free, then no one's buying any product. Oh, you mean like Amazon? What? Well, you can sign up for free in Amazon. But apparently all the people that signed up free in Amazon went, there's really no reason to sign up in Amazon unless I will go and buy something. I wonder what they got. You know what I mean? And then that gives the company the ability to upgrade you because now you made a decision to buy something. Once you put something in the shopping cart, you're seeing 3 prices with us.
Well, I will be talking to him again probably in another 5 or 6 days. So once I'm talking to him again, I will say that. It's just at the time, it didn't occur to me to say, well, hey, you want to jump on a Zoom and have a chat with him? And ask him a question. I never really thought of that at the time, but
believe it or not, you can do that with me. You definitely can do that with me because, I believe most people, they get hung up in a couple of things. And then when they see me answer the question, because I have done this for a while.
yeah.
When people say saturation, I'll give you another one. It's all the ones that people come up are the same ones. It's the same questions ever since I've been in the damn thing. And people go, well, CBD, isn't everyone selling CBD? They're at gas stations, they're at 7-Elevens, they're at everything. Isn't everyone marketing CBD? And I'm going to go, okay, you're right. So let me ask you a question. It's the end of the year, Black Friday, right? And it's coming up on Super Bowl. Can you explain to me, Daryl, why everyone's selling televisions? I don't know if you're like me, but I bet you I got 6 televisions in this house. So do you have more than one television? Yeah. So why is everyone selling freaking televisions? So you give them a question that they don't know how to respond to. I never thought about that. Let me give you one word. It's called upgrade.
Yeah.
I upgrade my phone, I upgrade my laptop, I upgrade my television. Sometimes I upgrade my car, right? And it's like people go, oh, yeah, I get it. So here's another question for you. If you knew there were better products that you're using in your home, if there were upgradable products than you're currently using, and by sharing those upgrades with other people, why wouldn't you switch?
Yeah.
Unless you're one of those people that still have a tube television.
Yeah.
Right?
I'll leave with this. It's funny you mentioned that thing about saturation. A guy I listened to one time who was very successful in network marketing said, somebody asked me that question. He said, well, are you getting in? He said, well, no. He said, well, I rest my case.
That is true. It is true that people consistently. The other way that I answered that question for people, if I feel that, because sometimes I got to feel them. That's why I say to people, I go, listen, Daryl, when it really comes down to where the rubber meets the road, we can consistently find reasons why this won't work. I just wonder if it's possible if we could find one reason why it will. So excuse me, I don't know if there's more free time that you want in your life, or if you want actually earn more income, because people mentally believe that the more income you make, the harder you work, the less freedom you have. That's listening to broke people, man. Because every person that I know that makes a buttload of money, they found people. They found people that's running their divisions, and everyone in the company is treated well, so they know that. Wow, I didn't know Daryl just got the president position. Can you believe that guy started off in the mailroom? Are you shitting me? Yeah, if you go the extra mile, they promote within. You know what I mean? So you're actually telling me that there could be a shot that I could get promoted and make more money. Yeah. But not by seeing how little you can get away with and still wanting raises. But comes back to the ideas of going the extra mile and having a good work ethic. When I moved out to California, that was a positive. I would sit down for an interview and they go, "Where are you from?" And I said, "Williston, North Dakota, you're hired." I was like, "Really?" "Yeah, you work there." Everybody that you hung around worked. You know what I mean? There was like, you can't hang around a bunch of people that have work ethic, that always think about going the extra mile, and be the laziest freaking person around. No, you get your ass kicked out so fast. So
Well, listen, thanks a
coming on
million.
here,
I
Daryl.
really appreciate it. I really appreciate you answering the questions and everything.
You bet.
So, really happy to be here and interact with everybody. So,
well, we're here to help you. So let me know how I can get you there.
thanks very much. Appreciate it.
You bet.
Daryl, thank you so very much. Appreciate you. And welcome to your first Inner Circle. Robert, here's the deal. It's top of the hour. I've got two people with their hands raised and an online question. Do we have time for that?
Let's go ahead and knock them out. Let's go.
All right. And Sandy, forgive me again. The only reason why I'm going to invoke the Ola factor here is because Robert was just talking about Ola with Daryl. So please hang in there, okay? Appreciate you very, very much. So Ola, go ahead and unmute yourself since your hand is up. I'm sure you're following up with what just the discussion was. So please share with us.
Yes. Hello, Robert.
Hello, Ola. How are you, man?
I'm very good. It's the middle of the night, but it's awesome. Yeah, I want to follow up with a question.
Sure.
Because success leaves clues.
Right.
And you got something in common with Tony Robbins was the best promoter of Jim Rohn.
Yeah.
Melody Ryba was so awesome at promoting you. I love her, by the way. And then you was a great promoter at Bill Gold.
Yes.
So my question is, do you have any advice to be a very good promoter? What's your
the way to be a good promoter is the concept that I know Melody, Melody's made $1 million by promoting me. And where the mentality just has to get is, you just have to say, that there are people that mentally want to be the deal before they can be the deal, right? And that's why I always use like martial arts and stuff like that. The reason that they have, that you're a white belt and then a white belt with a yellow stripe, it really all comes down to understanding that there's things that you need to learn, right? And that there needs to be a test that you can take. So, is this structure. Unfortunately, there's not that structure in this industry. You got to learn that structure. And so if you believed that by giving me praise and recognition and never knowing the answer and making sure that you plug people in with me,
Yeah.
that soon you're going to be where Melody is, where your income and your position will allow you to start having people do that to you.
Yeah.
So it was me willing to, and when I got involved in MDC, I did one video with Josh and Jenna, and Melody did it, and we just made sure that we got everyone in front of that video. So at the beginning, we were promoting Josh and Jenna because I would tell everyone that I seen Jenna's back office and it was more than I've ever made in a month.
That's my second question, by the way.
Yeah.
Do you always lead with the money? Because you have said, different personality types. Some people don't get excited by money. They get excited by other things. Oh.
Yeah. Well, what I try to do with every personality, though, is if they're really motivated by other things, like we had, Jodie Foster on here. She just loves nonprofit organizations. The problem with nonprofit organizations is they all need money to do what they want to do.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. So when you find out their personality trait and you find out what they would do, it's like they still will say, this is what, so in this industry, I'm not aware of another industry that can help people learn, and grow in personal development. There's been sayings where, this kind of marketing is a personal development program with a compensation plan. So
Yeah.
you get introduced to who you are and what you don't have. So my thing is let's not look at it as a group to start out with, Ola. Let's just say that that you own a company. So if you're an owner of a company, before we hire the human resource people that might be a little more yellow, and before we hire the tech people that are a little more green, and whether we're getting the fun-loving people that are good for customer relations and customer service, we have to do sales.
Yeah, true.
Okay. So if you were starting a brand new company, you would want people that could sell. We would be looking for people that, you see what I mean? And so so when you're first starting, when I first started, I was looking for people that wanted to make 6 figures plus. And so if I sent them a video and told them that Bill, oh, by the way, I'm working with a guy, he makes 62 grand a month. I seen his check, it was attached to the stub. Well, this isn't about money. And I'm just like, great. If you don't know anyone that needs to make extra money, I guess we're done. I wasn't interested. I wasn't interested in getting all personalities.
Yeah. You were actually looking for those that want to make 6 figures
Right. And in this company, there's one other asset that I think is very important, Ola, is for me to be able to say to you, well, Ola, I don't know if I can show you my back office really quickly, but my wife made over $48,000 last month on her residual check. So
that's fantastic.
If you're the kind of person that it's not about the money, would you be interested in introducing me to a person that that it's the money for them? And by you introducing me to that person, if we use your affiliate link, you'd make 30% off that person's residual check. So see, this is not about you, because you don't like money. So
I do.
Yeah. And I would tell people all the time, I said, listen, you could give me, we'll use your affiliate link. You can make the $18,000 a month off introducing Terry to the company. And because it's not about money for you, you could give it all away.
Yeah. Smart.
It's funny.
Yeah.
It's funny. The people that say it's not about the money, they usually say, well, I wouldn't give it all away. You know what I mean? It's like, really? Because, if you didn't have to work, Would you do charity all the time? I'd love to do that all the time. Well, great. Let's get money out of the way, and then you can just focus on saving the world.
Yeah.
So
Smart. Thank you for your answers.
You bet.
Ola, thank you so very much. Appreciate you and coming in. All right, I'll jump over to Sandy because she's been so patient, and then we'll go ahead and ask the final question after Sandy.
Good.
Sandy, come on, and thank you so much for your patience. Appreciate it. Open up and share with us.
Thank you. First of all, Robert, I just want to let you know that I really do listen to the 3 o'clock lives, your videos, but I have little ones here that their other grandparents are picking them up at that time, and I do not want to be interrupted when I listen to those.
I get it.
So when
No
you
problem,
see me
no
hop
problem.
on, I have nobody here.
Okay.
Okay. So my first thing is that when Mary did hers a couple weeks ago, I almost did not come on because Dino is overstaying his welcome.
I understand.
And so I almost didn't come on. And then I was saying, I'm talking now, geez, Sandy, shut up. So then I was saying to myself, well, it's okay, Sandy. It doesn't matter if you don't do anything because, you like the people that are there anyway. And, you're just doing it so you can go and have a good time. And I thought, oh, yeah, that's true. That's what I'm doing. And then my stomach got all upset and all weird. And I said, no, Sandy, that's not true. You want to do something with this. So Sandy went out and Sandy bought herself a new desk for her office, new shelves, new cabinets to make everything match. I was going to drop down from executive, and then Sandy said, the hell you are. And so I upped my retirement for an extra $200. So I always have at least the lowest brand box. But my question is, because I have not been doing everything, I have been copying and pasting.
Okay.
And with little ones here, how do I do voice clips? I mean, if they pop up in my voice clip, does that matter? Do I need to get a headset? It doesn't matter?
No,
Okay.
in fact, when this guy goes off, always remember, Sandy, that you're finding your tribe. You got your vibe for your tribe. And I guarantee you, if that happens and when it happens, and someone's going to go, holy crap, she did a video clip and she's got kids around her. This is the kind of woman I want to work with.
Okay.
Can you see where everything sometimes when we get the wrong negative things in our head, they're usually the opposite of what would really happen.
Okay.
So with all these people out there that say, I can do this business, but how can I do it if I'm taking care of a bunch of kids? Just, that doesn't matter. If there was somebody that went, oh, well, if she's going to have kids in the background on her voice clips, I don't want to work with her. Isn't your first response, I don't want to work with you either?
Right. Okay. All right. So I got that out. So then the next thing is that I started talking to you about YouTube, and I did actually go out and do a couple of videos, but you had said that you do what, 10 to 20 a day? Well, that scared the hell out of me.
No,
So,
I do one maximum of 2 a day. And then Craig and Matt break those up into another 10 or 12.
Okay, that makes me feel better because I was like, what the fuck? Okay, so I got that. So that makes me feel so much better. Now, this one right here is not for me. This one right here is going to be for my husband. He's going to retire at the end of February, beginning of March, and he wants to start working on himself. I do it for women. So I have no idea like what kind of a book or what I should get for him. So if any of you guys that have done this could help me out, that would be great.
Do you think that he would be interested in any way, shape, or form of jumping on a Zoom with me?
He may not. I don't know. He is very, very introverted. So
Well, this is a geek from the dork force.
Okay.
Yeah. Tell him that I was using computers before they had a mouse.
Okay.
So you could say to him, and Robert's willingness to just talk to you to help find out how he can guide you is not only from 37 years of experience, but I'm not interested in getting him in this business. Tell him straight out that this guy just got a lot of information on how to help people succeed.
Okay.
And ask him if he would be open to it. If he's
Okay.
not, I definitely see the reason I want to talk to him is because I can help anybody get anything they want in life if they know what they want.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes people just don't know what they want. So
He's listening.
yeah. So me giving him a book suggestion that might be taking him in the opposite direction of what he wants,
Mm-hmm.
he would go, this is a waste of time. I don't even know why I read this.
Okay. I got it.
Yeah.
I got it.
So he, you know, that, and you could tell him before we get on a Zoom, if he wants to accept that gift, that that he just needs to think about, you know, where does he see himself in a perfect situation? What is this perfect day like 3 years from now?
Okay.
What's going on in his life? What is he doing? What kind of freedom does he have? Any kinds of hobbies that he wants to, you know, really. There was a guy that I met. He retired probably now 10 years ago. But when I met him, he thought that he wanted to do this business. And now if you went over, he's got this shop, and it was a dream of his. He said this, I pulled it out of him. He goes, I wanted to be the only person on the block that when guys drove by the house, they went, that dude's shop's bigger than the house. And now it is. And the woodwork stuff that this guy does. And so he started out doing woodwork. He always wanted to learn it. And I told him what YouTube was. And he's going, these guys teach you how to do everything. And so he got really excited. Now, if you've seen his shop, he's got every frickin' tool that there is, right? So he makes all this cool stuff. And then I told him how to sell it on the internet. This guy does not need money. And he's on such a different level of happiness. It's crazy.
Okay.
And guess who thanked me the most for that?
His wife.
His wife. Yep. She's going, he gets up, we have a cup of coffee and I usually make him some eggs and some toast. And then he goes out that door into the shop and my life's amazing.
I love it.
Because that's what a lot of retired people are going. It's like, wow, you're just not going to sit in a lounge chair and watch TV all day, are you? You know what I mean? It's like, you know, because everyone always says if you're not looking forward to something, then you start going the opposite.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah. So I hope that
Okay.
helps.
Yes, it does. It does. It does. It does. And I will talk to him.
Good.
All right. Thank you so much. That was all I had.
And if he still says, no, I'm not interested in doing that right now, just let him know that it's open in the future whenever he wants it.
Okay.
But if he can tell me, because you just got to share with him one other thing, that the constant thing that we always say to people. So what if money was not an option? You know, what if when you retire, that number that's in the bank is 10 times more than what it is?
Okay.
Because now all of a sudden it opens up that thing. I don't know. It's interesting when you get to reinvent yourself. That's all I'll say.
I know. I know. And I got to start doing that a couple of years ago when I left, and now I'm just gam and I watch kids. And then two oldest ones are in school, but then in the summer I have all four of them. And so I'm sure in 3 years, he's going to be, oh my God, are all those kids in school yet so they can be the hell out of my house? But,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
yeah. All right. That helps a lot. Thank you so much.
I love you. I love
I love
you.
you too. Thank you.
Right.
Sandy, thank you so very much. And for those of you that are wondering, when Robert talks about the perfect day, he not only did a video on it, which I posted in the chats, but he also is referring to the 6-phase meditation.
Right.
So, and one of the phases of that meditation is thinking about your perfect day. So, I just wanted to clarify that.
Phase 4.
Phase 4. There we go. Okay, one other final question, Robert, that was posted in the chat, and George Dudley shared this. He goes, "Hey, Robert, do you have any group chats for your teams, or you don't do that?"
Don't do that. Yeah. So the reason I don't is everything that goes through my filter in my mind is I'm not interested in having people do activities instead of productivity. So if you guys notice, it's like the people that created groups, the people that believe they're leaders are also creating groups. And then the leaders that are underneath them create groups. And so without saying names of anybody, there were people that onboarding, we recently just, me and Mark Casetta just talked about this, and I'm going like, I just don't understand overwhelming someone and confusing people. Confused people do nothing. And so now what you do is you plug them into so many groups. And the first thought in their mind is you're trying to help them. And their thought is, I don't have enough time to stay plugged in all these groups. Like, even though there's people that have other groups, I'm not in them. People ask me to be a part of the group, and I go, if you're okay with me not participating. I don't know, how many people here, how many people am I in your group? You know what I mean? If you got a group, I'm in your group, man, I'm so disciplined and priority. Very rarely do I get a chance to like up and make a comment on your guys' posts. You know what I mean? I'm just focused. I'm looking for people that I can help. And so I hope that helped you. I I tried to delete my vision group on Facebook, and it won't allow me to do it. If I could, I'd do it. It's a waste of time for me. And if I could delete and get rid of my business page, I'd do it. It's just people see it, and then at the beginning, if I wouldn't have thought about how unhappy I would be trying to sell courses and seminars, I don't even know if I would have a Robert Hollis website. Matt knows how often I go to my personal website. I don't send people there either. The only offer that we promote is the free book. So, yeah. So there you are. So if I bring in a brand new person, I am not plugging them into any groups or anything, including my daily choice groups. I want them to stay focused on getting excited, connecting with people, and putting them in front of me. That's what I want them to do. So,
awesome.
Right back to you,
Robert. Wow. This was an amazing inner circle. Thank you so very much. And thank you to everybody who actually did participate and share. John Tier, Bill Shoemaker, Jody Falcon, Coach Bob Johnson, Lisa Marie Cook, Daryl Canister, Ola Myers, Sandy Baker, George Dudley. And I got to give a big shout to our executive producer, Matthew Hollis, for being the foundation here. He helps put this whole thing together. Matt, thank you so very much. We appreciate you. And of course, we appreciate each and every one of you that are part of the Inner Circle to be here, to share with us. This is your opportunity to just open up and share. And I think that's, you know what, that's the main reason why I say what I say whenever we're transitioning between people, because it is a share. And we really enjoy you being a part of the family. Just don't forget, we have also Ask Me Anything this Saturday, starting at noon Pacific. So we've got a lot of things a lot of things to do before then, and of course it'll be a happy holidays and a Merry Christmas. And as people are posting here in the chat, including Robert, Merry Christmas to you, our dear members of the Inner Circle. We love you, we appreciate you, and we will see you next time. Until then, please be good to yourselves, be cash. Bye-bye. I'm going to go ahead and open up. Ask everyone to unmute themselves as we say,
thank you, Robert.
Merry Christmas. Thank you. Happy holidays.
Thank you.
Happy
Happy holidays.
Thank you, Daryl. Thank you,
Good
Matthew.
night.
Thank you, Belle. Thank you, John, James. Hola. They're together there. That was like Eric. Thank you so much, Peter and Linda. Love you guys. Thank you, Daniel, Melody, George, Coach Bob in the corner.